can't let us know too much about what's coming next. She's still doing it strong, still holding on to Christ, and we are able to point back to a very effective foundation, a pillar in our life, a praying mother, a church who surrounded her through the ups and downs. She's still going strong in ministry because something was there when church did next door. This is a holy road.
So we couldn't leave the church without getting a performance. That's what they said.
Our mother did and our mother lead a little choir in a tune, but watch you know. Hush. Me no know a song. So the most me and Celine could have do, I just clap with hand and beat the timbrel and just sing along and catch the message of the music.
Oh, shining through the ages of the earth, and time has been forgot. She'll be wearing garments pure and spotless. Have you on the wedding robe or have you not? Yes, she'll be shining, oh, shining through the ages of the earth, and time has been forgot. She'll be wearing garments pure and spotless. Have you on the wedding robe or have you not? Have you shining, shining through the ages.
You can open a Sagicor Bank savings account from anywhere. Go online and open yours today.
The time by Sagicor Bank is
7 o'clock. Tonight in CVM News at 7, tsunami advisory triggers new wave of concern. Gun seizures ramped up in St. Elizabeth police operations. Fire destroys homes in Covert Gardens. A youth advocate appeals for help. There's also Inspire Jamaica. And in sports, we'll have a preview of the second Reggae Boys versus Trinidad friendly.
Rise with sunrise. Free yourself from the Monday blues with Miss Kitty and Dennis. It's the week of love. We'll begin with Money Masterclass. It's a lesson on securing your love with Guardian Group. Grab your date. We head to a romantic brunch in Breakfast is Served. And we'll wrap your morning with an experience. The great Barrington Levy stops by. You've never seen a sunrise quite like this.
It's not a patrol, it's a pit.
When me a drive last week in the road, me say I can't get wing.
The patrol then deep, then jerk. People ball for them back in the taxi, no matter how slow you go.
We need some help and not tomorrow or next week. We need it right now.
Damage to car tires, bumpy car rides, and the traffic frustration. Potholes and bad roads have become the unavoidable thorn in the flesh of the Jamaican motorists. But why? And can Jamaica turn the page to an era of better roads with new roadwork projects? Well, Lead Story is here to investigate. Join George Davis from February 10 to 12 at 8 p.m. for our Lead Story special, the story of the Jamaican pothole. See it happen right here on CVM TV.
From Kingston, Jamaica, this is CVM News at 7, the weekend edition. It's Sunday, February 9, 2025. I am Carolyn Brown. Thanks so much for joining us. Well, it was shortly after 6 p.m. local time on Saturday, February 8, at 7.6 magnitude earthquake struck at a depth of 10 kilometers or just over 200 kilometers south-southwest of Georgetown in the Cayman Islands, as reported by the Pacific Tsunami Warning Center, triggering a wave of concern about a possible tsunami wave, as well as the responsiveness of Jamaica's emergency management protocols. To tell us more, here's Joel Crosskill.
A release posted on the social media platform of the Office of Disaster Preparedness and Emergency Management ODPEM at 10:40 p.m. acknowledged that Jamaica was issued an advisory for a possible tsunami wave. However, the main areas for concern were Honduras and the Cayman Islands. In a statement this morning, Opposition Shadow Minister of Local Government Natalie Nita Garvey questioned the scope and speed at which that information became available to the public, while speculating on what it may portend should Jamaica ever face such an environmental threat.
Yesterday at 6:30 p.m., Jamaica was placed under a tsunami alert. This alert lasted for about an hour and 10 minutes before it was lifted. But let me be clear. During those 70 minutes, the people of Jamaica heard absolutely nothing from their government or from the Office of Disaster Preparedness and Emergency Management, the ODPEM. The very agency responsible for keeping us informed and safe. Had a tsunami actually occurred, the consequences would have been catastrophic. Why? There was no bulletin issued to warn the population. No instructions were given on how to respond to such an event. Nothing, save for a release over 3 hours later, which informed us as an advisory, but denied that there was even a warning.
The ODPEM release indicates that the tsunami advisory was at no point elevated to a warning for Jamaica, whilst also providing insight into the protocols involved in such a scenario, stating that ODPEM, in conjunction with the Meteorological Service of Jamaica and supported by the JCF, made notifications to both the national and parish response mechanisms before an all-clear bulletin was subsequently issued for the region. However, Nita Garvey asserts that Jamaicans were largely left in the dark during the period.
This is not just a failure, it is a gross dereliction of duty. The Ministry of Local Government and the ODPEM have acted in an extremely irresponsible manner, leaving our nation vulnerable and in the dark during a potential crisis.
Though we were unable to contact a representative of ODPEM directly in relation to the concerns, a recent JAS Get the Facts appearance by Acting Director of ODPEM Richard Thompson as part of Earthquake Awareness Week provided some emergency management context to consider.
In the hazard realm, there are rapid onset events and there are slow onset events.
Okay.
So your hurricane is a slow onset event. You see it being formed 2-3 weeks before an impact. You see it coming. For earthquake is a rapid onset event because of that rapid movement of what we call the plates, right? And for us in Jamaica, we sit on a very active
fault line,
plate system, and we have a lot of fault lines running through Jamaica. So we sit at the boundary of the Caribbean and North American plate margin.
According to Thompson, Jamaica averages approximately 200 earthquakes per year, admitting that the island's vulnerability to earthquakes makes it a priority of ODPEM and in general the government of Jamaica to ensure the necessary measures to prepare the population for any onset events are in place.
I'm calling for an urgent review of Jamaica's disaster alert and warning systems. We must ensure that these systems are fully functional, supported by adequate response mechanisms, expertise, and funding. What happened last night was nothing short of scary. It is unacceptable, and the minister, as the accountable officer, must immediately provide the nation with a credible explanation.
Joel Crosskill, CVM News.
The St. Elizabeth Police have reported major breakthroughs in the fight against crime, with the recovery of illegal firearms amidst intensified police operations in the parish. Commanding officer for the division is Superintendent Coolidge Minto.
As recent as yesterday, sir, we recovered an illegal 9mm pistol in the Parity area. 2 Haitians were also detained and arrested for illegal entry. The day before, also seized another illegal firearm. One man, unfortunately, was fatally shot. This is the third firearm that we seized in the past 2 weeks. So we continue our operational push across the parish to ensure that St. Elizabeth and the residents of St. Elizabeth will feel a sense of safety and they can continue their normal business, in a place where they can raise their children, do business, and feel a sense of safety.
The Prime Minister endorses the work being done by the police division. He acknowledges the parish has been peaceful and says it should not be disrupted by gangs which have been creeping into the daily lives of citizens.
We do take note that there was a gang that apparently was trying to take root, but I know that the police force has stepped up their efforts in ensuring that that gang is totally eroded and soon to be eradicated.
But the gang has been impacted in a very significant way, sir. At least 2 of the members who were fatally shot in the last 2 weeks are aligned to that particular gang. And it's no secret, it's a speculation gang.
Yes.
We have been...
Well, I don't give them names because they're not important. We don't elevate them in the minds of the public. We don't want them to become superstars and heroes. And no, they are criminals.
And citizens are being encouraged to work closely with the police as this is a major way the peace can be maintained.
You give information and believe me, that is the highest thing you could do as a citizen, to give information on the criminals, to separate them from yourselves, to push them out, because ultimately they are not there to protect you, they are there to harm you. So I'm very pleased with the report that I've received here. Keep up the good work. Thank you. And I firmly believe that this area can be the most peaceful area in Jamaica.
The Kingston and St. Andrew Municipal Corporation is taking steps to improve innovation and productivity, making use of technology in daily operations. Now, the town's mayor says the corporation is looking to cut costs and leverage resources to improve service in Kingston and St. Andrew. Courtney Lewis has more.
The Kingston and St. Andrew Municipal Corporation is refining the way business is done, introducing technology to its operations. Kingston's Mayor Andrew Swaby says it's part of a proactive approach to better serve the city.
Right now, the KCMC spend millions of dollars each year on photocopying and printing. This is unsustainable. We have to go digital, which is why we have started to provide laptops for our councillors, and they were presented today.
He says further modernization will increase accountability and efficiency. Swaby encourages public-private partnerships to increase financial stability.
KCMC owns properties in New Kingston and Halfway Tree, and we must explore how we can leverage these assets through public-private partnership. Public parking is one such opportunity that we can facilitate to generate revenue while improving the services to our residents.
He was supported by the Minister of Local Government, Desmond McKenzie, who reiterated the importance of the local development. He calls for greater strategic development from councillors, as he believes the ministry is undervalued.
We must put ourselves in a position that we push back from the beginning of the process to ensure that all the laws, the development orders, what sustain you as a municipality is knowing your areas of responsibility.
Councillors are also being urged to interact more with constituents,
so that they can talk to you about the issues that affects them, the concerns that they have, and you can say to them as your representatives, while I understand what this is what we are expecting of you, as residents.
Both the minister and the mayor were speaking at a 2-day retreat at the University of the West Indies Business Center. Courtney Lewis for CVM News.
And CVM News at 7 will continue in a moment.
Reggae is global. Reggae is everywhere.
Yeah, reggae is my life, you know. If it wasn't for reggae, I don't know that walk out thing did or something.
We have something which the world crave even right now. Reggae is internationally known.
I am a Jamaican.
Sports should be fun. Sports should be interesting. Sports should be entertaining. Sports should be riveting. This is CVM Sports. I'm Jordan Flint.
Come rise with sunrise. Free yourself from the Monday blues with Miss Kitty and Dennis. It's the week of love. We'll begin with Money Masterclass. It's a lesson on securing your love with Guardian Group. Grab your date. We head to a romantic brunch in Breakfast is Served. And we'll wrap your morning with an experience. The great Barrington Levy stops by. You've never seen a sunrise quite like this.
The internationally acclaimed On Stage with Winfred Williams.
At a new time, Saturdays at 8 p.m. on CVM TV.
So much more than entertainment.
As we welcome you back, some news just in. A suspect has been arrested for the rape and murder of 14-year-old Price Johnson. The Hunts Bay Criminal Investigation Branch, the CIB, confirmed the arrest in relation to the brutal incident that occurred on February 6 in Palm Grove, Kingston 13. Now, the individual was taken into custody earlier today, Sunday, February 9, at approximately 3:50 p.m. from a property in Kingston 13 with the support and in the presence of his relatives. Investigators are actively pursuing the case, and further updates will be provided as the investigative process is advanced. Of course, the Jamaica Constabulary Force, the JCF, continues to urge anyone with relevant information to come forward and assist in the ongoing investigation. The fire destroyed several residences in Coburn Gardens Saturday night. The fire department was quick on the scene to prevent major damage. Adrian Williams tells us more.
Residents of this yard on Maho Drive in Coburn Gardens, also known as Cockburn Gardens in Kingston, found themselves surprised by a blaze which engulfed sections of the property. One occupant of the premises, an appliance technician, Delroy Smith, tried his best to salvage what he could, but instead of receiving his belongings, got burns and blisters instead.
I'm going to try it, water and throw, but I couldn't.
Yeah, the last 17 there, food stores, just of everything closed. Those are the say that the big land and stores.
For a start,
right?
Despite the losses, the fire brigade was lauded by the residents for their prompt response, which prevented further damage to other houses on the property. Their efforts were backed by a show of unity from members of the community who passed along containers of water in a bid to hinder more destruction. Youth advocate for the Civrite Gardens Division, Akeef Nugent, shared his relief to see the effort put in to fight the blaze.
Was it the quick response of the fire team? All the houses in this yard, everything.
Including yours?
Yeah, including my house would have been flat. And just want to thank the Lord that they were on time and members of the community was here to, help to out the fire.
The now 16-year-old, who would have become viral years ago after his initiative in advocating for youth education, is appealing to the public for assistance.
I am calling on the Jamaica itself, the MP member of Parliament for Seabright Gardens, the councillor for Seabright Garden. I am seeking your help, in helping out these fire victims, get back on track, help them out their furniture and so forth, help them to bring back and start back good and better. We are calling on you guys.
For now, residents seek to rise from the ashes as they start over from scratch. Adrian Williams reporting for CVM News.
Still more to come. Stay with us.
Road is not a pothole, it's a pit.
When me a drive last week in a road, me say I can't get wing.
The pothole then deep, then jerk. People ball for them back in the taxi, no matter how slow you go.
We need some help, and not tomorrow or next week. We need it right now.
Damage to car tires, bumpy car rides, and the traffic frustration. Potholes and bad roads have become the unavoidable thorn in the flesh of the Jamaican motorists. But why? And can Jamaica turn the page to an era of better roads with new roadwork projects? Well, Lead Story is here to investigate. Join George Davis from February 10 to 12 at 8 p.m. for our Lead Story special, the story of the Jamaican pothole. See it happen right here on CVM TV.
Thanks so much for staying with us. Time now for regional and international news.
We begin with news in the region. Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley, in a post to his Facebook page, cautioned the Caribbean region to remain alert for possible significant aftershocks following the 7.6 magnitude earthquake north of Honduras on Saturday. The Prime Minister, who has a doctorate in geology, said we are lucky to have experienced such a big shake at shallow depth without it causing any damage or destruction. More from TTT News.
The Prime Minister, who has a doctorate in geology, said we are lucky to have experienced such a big shake at shallow depth without it causing any damage or destruction. He noted the Cayman Trench structural fracture zone remains an active plate margin of the small but well-defined Caribbean plate, so the potential for significant seismic activity in the region remains a natural hazard that comes with the territory. The Caribbean Disaster Emergency Response Agency, CDEMA, late on Saturday gave the all clear for islands that were placed under a tsunami warning following the earthquake with a magnitude of 7.6 that occurred north of Honduras. A possible tsunami threat was initially forecasted for 20 countries, including 7 CDEMA participating states: the Bahamas, Belize, Cayman Islands, Haiti, Jamaica, the Turks and Caicos Islands, and the Virgin Islands.
Education Minister Darrell Matthew has welcomed the launch of a digital harmonized primary school curriculum for Antigua and Barbuda and other members of the OECS. We hear more from ABS TV Antigua.
The digital OECS harmonized primary curriculum, or DOHPC, has been launched in Antigua, Barbuda. The process, which began back in June 2022, will now see primary schools across the Organization of Eastern Caribbean States, or OECS, use a digital interactive curriculum, which has benefited from input across the educational sector in 8 OECS territories. Rafa Gordon, Project Manager for Education within the OECS Commission, explains.
We recognize that there is a need to have a curriculum that is future-proofed, a curriculum that develops students who are entrepreneurial, who are advocates for issues that they believe in, who are able to articulate their concerns, who are critical and creative thinkers, who are innovators, and basically who are ready to function in a society that is very quickly evolving.
The curriculum is already being micropiloted across the nation. This confirmed by Assistant Director of Education, Stacey Payne Maskell.
The OECS saw it fit to engage in a micropilot, for which now we have engaged 11 primary schools.
Open your hearts now to meet a diligent and determined little one whose attitude overrules the ability to keep up with the pace of others in the household. We hear from the parents who continue to rise above a disappointment to give their child the best they have. This is part one of the Tahir Roswell story.
Reach out and touch somebody's hand. Make this world a better place if you can.
They were high school sweethearts. They got married in 2016 and became parents to 4 children, 2 girls, 2 boys. Their second-born, a daughter, has taught them, among other things, patience, understanding, and how to trust God more.
Hi, my name is Tahir Roswell.
And I'm Tahir Roswell.
And we are the parents of Tahir Roswell. So Tahir is currently 8 years old. Her birthday was February 6. About when she was 8 months old to 9 months old, we noticed that she wasn't achieving her milestones, and it was a concern between us and her grandparents. So I can remember my mom saying to us that, you know, the baby isn't sitting up on her own at certain months old. She's not, you know, picking up things. She's not holding anything. She's not
achieving the milestones,
moving things from hand to hand and stuff like that. So they were pushing us, really. They were pushing us to go and, you know, do some in-depth checks. We left from Portland at the time and we moved to Montego Bay. That's because we both got a job in Montego Bay. So we moved from Portland to Montego Bay, and when we were there, we registered at the hospital.
The clinic. And then from there, the nurse found out what was wrong. And
what followed was outside their expectations.
We took her to her 9-month clinic visit, which is a routine visit. And while we were at the clinic, the nurse noticed that her charts were looking, you know, not so average like a regular average child. And she measured up her head, and she saw that the size of her head was 2 to 3 centimeters smaller than usual. So right there, that raised a concern.
Among the recommendations, a CT scan.
We brought the report to the doctor. He read and saw that she had calcifications in her brain, in which she would have gotten brain damage, possibly in utero while I was pregnant with her. He didn't say that it was caused by the Zika virus. We didn't get a direct diagnosis as to what exactly caused. During the pregnancy with Tahira, there was the outbreak of the Zika virus. But strangely enough, I don't remember getting sick with the Zika virus. I don't know to say if someone in the household got sick with the virus, but I didn't get sick with the virus. So we didn't have a concern to say maybe, you know, I got sick, maybe we should go to the hospital to get things evaluated, maybe let's start early. We were young, we were trying out in life, and we were pregnant with our second child. And throughout the pregnancy, I was sick like a usual pregnant person, morning sickness. With her, it led up straight up to birth. I had morning sickness, and I didn't gain a lot of weight, in which, you know, in some pregnancies, things like these are normal.
Now, while not leveling blame for the neurological condition Tahira, nicknamed Hira, now lives with, which affects the nerves and the muscles known as cerebral palsy, the couple remains baffled about the delayed diagnosis, and in another parish at that.
We had Tahira at the Port Antonio Hospital, and thinking about it years later, I would say to my husband that the doctors and the nurses should have really taken the time out to see that this baby's head is smaller than a usual baby's head. I mean, to the eye, she wouldn't look like she was sick. She didn't seem like anything was wrong. She looked like a normal baby. Her head wasn't, deformed in a way which would have looked, noticeable to anyone that something was wrong with this baby. But on a doctor's perspective, if they had checked and they saw that her head was smaller than usual, then we could have started early on. Right, we could have started on earlier out. So at her 9-month visit, the nurse ruled out microencephaly.
Years after that experience and the renewed strength from the knowledge they have gained, Tahira is mommy's and daddy's little help, and the one from whom her siblings learn acceptance, compassion, and care.
Tahira loves to help out around the house. She loves to assist me washing dishes. She can't do much, but she does try. She wants to sweep. She wants to clean. She wants to bathe her baby brother. She wants to do all the things a normal child would want to do, but she can't do, and she's limited in doing some, and while the others,